How are you, my dear students? Today we are going to explain our new lesson for comprehension skills with the story, The All American Slurp. Our lesson of comprehension skills is talking about compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. After finish explaining, we'll answer page 400 and 407 in our practice notebook. Now we can start. I can start our explanation for this one. Compare and contrast. To compare and contrast is to tell how two or more things are alike and how they are different. To compare to show the similarities and differences between two things. To compare to show the similarities and difference between two things. But to contrast to show only the difference between two things. Again, to compare to show the similarities and differences between two things. But for to contrast, to contrast, to show only the differences between two things. Use different now. To compare again, to show the similarities and differences between two things. To contrast, to show only the differences between two things. The key words that indicates for comparing and contrast. To compare, you have some keywords. For comparing such what? Such as word both, alike, similar, the same, also, to, as well as. Again, both, alike, similar, the same, also, to, as well as. To contrast, you have some keywords for contrasting, such as different, but, however, while, unlike, on the other hand, in contrast, although. Again, for contrast, we can use the word or the keywords that we have, different, but, however, while, unlike, on the other hand, in contrast, although. For comparing, we can use the keywords that we have, both, alike, similar, the same, also, to, as well as. That's all for this part. Let's practice on this part in our practice notebook, page 407. I share the page with you now. Here we have a text. But before we read this text, let's answer this part. When you compare, so let's read this part. When you compare and contrast, you tell how two or more things are alike and how they are different. Sometimes words such as like, as, whether, however, and unlike signal comparisons or contrasts. Read the following passage, then complete the chart here. Let's read together. Schools in China and the United States are alike and different. In both countries, the school year is about 40 weeks long. However, in China, students attend 6 days a week instead of 5. Chinese elementary schools teach the same core subjects as United States or as US schools. But politics, foreign languages, and manual labor are taught too. In the United States, about the same amount of time is spent on English as on other subjects. However, in China, nearly 40% of class time is spent on Chinese because it is so difficult. Unlike US students, Chinese students must pass exams to move up to junior high school, called junior middle school, or high school, called senior middle school. Finally, in the United States, all children attend junior high school, but in China, less than half of all children attend. I read this part again. But during reading, I highlight for the keywords that we said before for compare and contrast. Yes. Schools in China and the United States are alike. You said what here? Alike. This word indicates for what? Yes, for similarity, for comparing, yes, for similarity. And different for contrast. In both countries, this school year is about 40 weeks long. You said what here? The word both indicates for what? Yes, for similarity. Yes. We can complete here. However, yes, this indicates for what? For contrast. In China, students attend he said here, however, in China, students attend six days a week instead of 5. Chinese elementary schools teach the same score subject, the same core subjects as US schools. He said what here? Pa. Indicates for what? Yes, for contrast. Politics, foreign language, politics, foreign language, and manual labor are taught in the United States about the same is what the same is. Get for similarity. Yes, the same amount of time is spent on English as on other subjects. However, yes, also here for contrast. And I like for this word that indicates for similarity and that indicates for comparing and contrast. Compare and contrast. In China, nearly 40% of class time is spent on Chinese because it is so difficult. Unlike US students, we can highlight for this word also indicates for contrast. Yes. Unlike students, Chinese students must pass exams to move up to junior high school, called junior middle school, or high school called senior middle school. Finally, in the United States, all children attend junior high school, but guess what? Yes, for contrast. But in China, less than half of all children attend. After we highlight for the words that indicates for similarity, you have about 2 minutes to read the text again to be able to complete this chart. At first, the first point is that I ask about here, length of school year is the same, 40 weeks. 40 weeks. Length of school week for the United States, 5 days, but for China is 6 days. Yes. Elementary school subjects. As I said, for elementary school subjects, he said here that in United States, they have what? Yes, core subjects, core subjects. But for China, he adds something by saying what? For China, he said plus what here? But politics, foreign language and manual labor are two. So we can say for China, we can write core subjects plus other subjects like politics, foreign language, and manual labor. So these are the other subjects that in China. The third point, number 2, time spent on language. Yes, for United States, let's find the time of language. We said what? The same amount of time spent. Yes, so we can write the same amount of time as on other subjects. But for China, yes, we said what? 40%. We said nearly 40% of class time is spent on Chinese because it's so difficult. Yes, so we can write what here? I show you the answer, don't worry, I'll show the answer after we finish, okay? As usual, as we did before. Yes, we can write what here? 40% of class time is spent on Chinese. Yes. For entrance exams, for United States, the entrance exam, let's see. U.S. students, unlike U.S. students, Chinese students must pass exam. This for Chinese entrance exam for junior high and high school. This for Chinese, but for the United States, no entrance exam, no entrance exam. Junior high attendance, junior high attendance. Yes, what is the difference for junior high attendance in China and United States? Yes. In the United States, he said what? All children attend junior high school. But for China, he said what? But in China, less than half of all children attend. Yes. The last part, names of schools. Names of schools. For United States, he said what? Junior high school. Yes, but in China it's called junior middle school. For high school is called in America, but in the United States, but in China it's called senior middle school. These are comparing for contrast. How can the question come in the exam? We can give you a text and ask you to write the things that are like and the things that are different. Or we can I ask you to compare and contrast between two things. Okay. For the things that they are shared together to be in the part of comparing, different together to be in the part in the comparing the things that are similar together to be in the part of comparing, but for contrast will be indicates for the difference between two things. So as we said before, when you compare and contrast, you tell how two or more things are alike and how they are different. Now I can show you the answer to this part to be able to copy in your part. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope that you understood everything in this part. Thanks so much, my dear students, and goodbye.